In a world where stories connect us, there's a place where healing, hope, and growth unites. Welcome to The Truth Podcast Show, where remarkable women and men share their personal journeys, their triumphs, and their truths. I believe in the power of storytelling. It inspires, heals, and unites us. Our inspirational women and men are everyday people overcoming adversities, which shows us the strength of the human spirit, offering hope to those who need it most. But we don't just stop with personal stories. We also spotlight organizations making a real impact, offering resources and opportunities to empower the communities. These organizations are our backbones to driving change and providing the support that heals. Together, we're building a stronger, more connected neighborhoods. The Truth Podcast Show is a space for healing, for inspiration, and for learning from each other. Whether it's overcoming personal struggles or finding the right resources, we're here to guide you in your journey. We believe that together we can rise above the challenges and make a difference. So join us each week on Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us on the Light Show Podcast Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn at 8 p.m. Central Time. As we share stories that connect us all. Because your story, your truth, can help someone else's heart. Catch you on Mondays. Peace out. What up, world? It's your girl, Kasira Elvie from The Truth Podcast Show. Welcome back. I hope you had a great holiday. I know now that we have Juneteenth, of course, us good Black folks be like, I don't want to celebrate the 4th. But, I mean, we've been doing it all our life, and it's not even about the 4th. Normally, we always let it be known. It's about family, the good old barbecue, and the good time and the parties that you have. So, I hope you had a good holiday. I did. Let me tell you this. To my parents, because it just happened to single parents. I mean, I'm talking out of a single parent mind right now, but parents, has it been a time where you were kid free and when you finally had freedom from responsibilities of being a parent, you wanted to do something and there was nothing to do? All your friends or family that have things that be going on and then you can't go because you got your kids or y'all got a practice to take them to or a game to go to. I mean, it's something, or you just don't got no babysitter to go out and be an adult. It happened every time, you all. I didn't have no kids since Tuesday. I just got my babies back that I'm responsible for. That I just got back this afternoon. And I did have a good time Sunday, but it was well rest, no lie, when you just have to think about yourself. But I wanted to kind of get into some things. Like, I mean, visit my friends. And people was busy or, time where you just don't want to be bothered. So, funny thing, but I just have to say that, every time it always seems as if when you have freedom from some responsibilities, you ain't got nothing to do. And then because you normally don't do anything, you don't even really know what to do. So, yeah, that was my weekend, but I just still have a good time with some family. And in my 2-week missing y'all journey, I have to say I talked to a lot of my friends that have organizations that are in ministry, leadership, and we were talking about just a lot of things, different things. And what I mean by that is that normal life things that kind of happen when life be lifing. And we were just talking about just still being on a mantle. And I kept thinking about, okay, I don't have a guest for this Monday, right? And I was like, it's going to be me. And let me tell you all, I haven't did a show with just me in a very long time. I've been on the show for 2 years. I think when I first started, I did it by myself a couple times, and I was still a little shaky, a little ashy, right? But I've been in the game now for 2 years. And so I was sitting there thinking, like, God, what am I going to talk about? And then something just came to me, the mantle. And I was like, okay, God, normally when I hear mantle, I'm always thinking about the spirituality of it, right? The church, when we hear about mantle, the pastor, the preacher, the bishop, or ministry leader, or music of leaders, music, ministry and things like that. It's not always the mantle in church form. There's a mantle for my community, right? For my people that are in leadership within the community organizations that they have, whether you are a manager or a CEO, or if you are anything within leadership. When we get put on this mantle, some want it, some was thrown in it, some didn't think that they could be there. I can say that for me. And it is there in that present moment. But I just want to tell you all, so today I'm going to be a little transparent, and next week, as you will see on my commercial, I will have Yolanda Carter back on. That's one of my bonus sisters that's been in my life. That was one of my significant people in my life that helped me heal, and is my teacher, my go-to, gives me wisdom. And so she'll be on, and she was one of the ones that we started the conversation because I was going through things with kids, grown-up kids, and even life itself, when you, as a woman, what we're trying to do and be and accomplish, whether you're a mother, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a wife. There are so many things, so many hats that we wear, right? And we don't have the time to show it publicly because we could be the savior. But I'm gonna go to this because when I really wanted to know, when I kept thinking about God, what I want to talk about, and I kept having these conversations with all my mentors and people in leadership and in organizations, and I'm just like, dang God, look how much stuff we go through being put on this mantle. So I was typing, and I have to tell you all know I always talk about I am a Google queen, but this time in this world nowadays we have AI. And I have to give Chat GPT because I like to be honest, and I said and wrote down the thing I was thinking and what I want to say, and they put it in perfect for me, and I hope it's for you. A good way to express myself in the short amount of time that I have, because y'all, we can go hours on what we've been going through. Okay, so I am so glad, and one of the things that this episode is going to be deeply personal and it's going to be real. We're going to be talking about the unspoken battles the leaders, especially in ministry or in a community role, face. It's like it's the face behind the scenes. I'm going to give you a little snippet, but it's going to be more so a little bit about me, a little bit I'm going to give it out. And so while we're showing up and while we're speaking life and while we're pouring into others, we're often still dealing with our own grief, stress, family struggles, emotional wear and tear in silently. We do, y'all. So we're going to talk about that today. And so I'm going to tell you this. And the reason why, now that I'm on this mantle, and it's not to be prideful or vain, but the topic of being an influencer, if you want to say that, or people look up to me, people want to know what I have to say. People are used to me being transparent. And when I got in this seat, at first I was like, yeah, I'm saying this. I'm being 100% honest. And the more I got into it, the more I had to be more cautious, which that's probably was never God's plan for me to be cautious, because I don't think I ever really kind of been cautious all my life until I got a little older. I'd be older when you ain't scared, you a daredevil. When the older you get, you be a little more cautious. That's how it was for me when I got the mantle. And then people start looking at me, and as we all say, I don't look like what I'm going through. And for being this person that's always there for everybody, a people pleaser, I like to help people, and it was just something. So the first thing I want to talk about is the pressure of the platform. That pressure, that you all don't see, that you look for us, even in your pastors, even in your mentors, or just people that you look up to. Sometimes, most times, you don't know the pressure that we go through. It's a pressure for me now that I have to say, have to watch what I say and watch what I do. Not too much because I still am me, but I still think about things. Am I going to snap on this person because they got my order wrong and they're being nasty and rude? I got to think about, do I want to, it's here, the best thing I can say now. Thank you, God. When we get in this position of being on a mantle, we have to choose our battles. So when we're choosing our battles, we're thinking about what will happen at the response. Most of us are analytical thinkers. So you're always thinking. That's pressure right there. But some of the key points I want to talk about is the expectations to always be on, even when we're empty. You all have seen me come on the show many a days because, like I said, the last analogy I gave about the sun and the clouds, that happens every day or every other day. And it has been Mondays where the whole week before my show, I've just been stressed. I've been going through so much that I have to fight sometimes to get up and perform. And no, let me take that word back. It's not a performance because we know I roll with the Holy Spirit in this show. But it's to be on, because I don't want the pressure of what I'm going through and my struggles to affect the audience. And also, I already gave my commitment to a guest to present their testimony to help the next sister. So we're always on, even when we're empty. Now tell me, I'm not the only one. And this doesn't have to always be in ministry. If you are a leader, sometimes if you are a manager and you sick as a dog and you know that you got to go in, because if you don't go in, who's going to open up the store? Who's going to open up the office? Sometimes, and you're tired, So that's one of the pressures. And then also, when I was talking about how people expect perfection and how hard it is to admit you're not okay. I'm gonna go back to being transparent about, I was affected with church abuse. I would say that I was a person that had church hurt. I think that's why I always kind of been a rebel, and I like to bring things out. And I remember some things that I went through with past pastors that hurt me. And because I was raised to always honor your ministry leader, your shepherd, I looked up to that person as if they should never make a mistake, that they're not human. We look up to you. You always have to be perfect because you're my example. You're my testament of how I need to be. And when that is shattered, it sends you through so much. And I remember once I was healed from church hurt, God opened up my eyes to still show me that that person is still human. And he showed me within the Bible of these powerful leaders and men and women too now that, we like to talk about that now. Back in the day, we didn't really try to speak up on these powerful women. But most of them have flaws. Most of them showed how they messed up and still cried out. One of the people I could think of is David. When and being kind of the raunchy me when I read about Peter, and I found out who Peter was. I found that God needs some goons in his camp. It's true. He needs an army. He needs warriors. And so when I saw that, I was like, God, I have to see everybody for who they are. And then here I am on the mantle. You see how the tables are turned? And so now I'm here to speak to you all that it ain't easy always being given a mantle that God put you on, because we have so many responsibilities and so many lives, And so the guilt or shame that can come when you're struggling mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, because we're supposed to be the strong ones. We're the ones that's supposed to guide you. And so one thing that I do like about my podcast and that God pushed me was because I felt like once I opened up my mouth and this big audience started coming and people start
like telling me like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. Thank you for telling your truth. And once I got there, it was like, okay, I gotta continue to be strong. And I was abandoning and ignoring my situations. That's how I got burnt out. I'm just telling you. I really think that is really how I got burnt out, was because I was so focused on other individuals and making sure that I kept the pattern going, the routine going, because people are really needing this and I'm being told this. And at the same time, I'm dealing with this and God giving me this, and I had to learn balance, and I am still in the process of learning balance. Learning balance, you all. Um, so I was just so thankful for just knowing, once again, I am not alone. I am new to this mantle. And so when I talk to my wisdom people, I'm gonna say my wisdom people, and when I mention a few things that I'm going through, it was like, me too. But when do I have the time, right? And so it's so crazy how trying to counsel others while you're either like your marriage or your personal life is in chaos, while you're praying for others, while you're in the process still healing and grieving also your own losses. We are strong people at the end, and what I'm thinking right now, the scripture when it said, God says, when you are weak, I am your strength. So my leaders, even though we go through this thing and we try to wonder and we do try to sit there and like, how, why, God? It ain't because of you. It's because of your Father that gives you strength. So many a days where I said, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to do this, God. This may seem like too much of a bigger responsibility. I got so much stuff going on and I'm doing this. But he will give you the strength. And for 2 years, me and my producer were just talking about this. I didn't even think I would still be here in 2 years. I didn't. When I started this podcast, I didn't really know about podcasts. I heard about it. I finally heard about it, right? But I didn't know the positive impact that it had on people. And so in the scripture, you got to pick up your cross and walk. And it's all about learning how to balance. And I also want to tell you, we're going to go to another key point that I spoke about, and they put it in the good outline for me. It's talking about the private pain and the public silence. It's that pressure, y'all. We go from the pressure to got to reveal the private pains that we go through. And not being a pastor of a flock, but I can imagine, and I'm going to tell you this, and I hope I don't get in trouble. I just want to say, because I'm learning now, it's a lot to have a responsibility of people in their lives because you're responsible from God, right? But I was thinking about some of the things that we go through, and ooh, no, let me say it in another way that it doesn't. Okay, so I see when people, let's do it like that. When people sit there and they want to give time to have people that guest or people that came just have their few moments of speaking to you at that present time. Do y'all know how much it is? How much it takes? A lot to sit up there and listen. And you could be tired as a dog. You probably done spoke good, and it takes a lot when you're doing a speech, or even if you preached, but you still love the people. People, I'm just telling you. Let's be a little more aware and a little more courteous to people that have poured their selves. It's a lot. And I was just looking at this person, these individuals, and I was sitting there, and they did it with so much poise. I mean, because we suffer in silence, you all, because we still got to please the people because that's what we want to do. Let me say that too. It's what we want to do. But being on that platform, I was looking at that. I was like, now I understand, because sometimes a conversation can go too long and then you still looking like you got like 20 more people in line that you have to speak to, talk to, maybe pray to, maybe encourage. And it's like, okay, yeah. That's pressure. Do you understand that? I just got to bring that out to my people. if you know that there's a line of people that want to get to the specific person that helped them out, let's be a little courteous. And I hope I'm not offending anybody, but this is just my personal opinion and looking. I haven't got that far yet with myself where I got to sit there and listen and talk and greet people. But sometimes we need to be able. Now, let me tell y'all this. I put notes on my door, and really the sign says, "Please do not knock. I am in recording." And I have somebody knocking at my door. Here nor there. But anywho, I just want us to be a little more respectful and just and still be able to tell. Let's not be long-winded, because I'm long-winded, you all. So it's so funny that I'm saying this to people. But anyway, I want to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back, and we'll get back into the struggles, the silent struggles of being on a mantle. We'll be back. Hey family, it's your girl Kasira Elvie from the Truth Podcast Show. If life feels too heavy right now, please hear me. You are not alone, and God has not forgotten you. For mental health support, here's a number that you can reach out to 24/7 anytime. If you're facing abuse, reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. You don't have to suffer in silence. If you're struggling with self-harm or dark thoughts, you can text HOME to 741-741. Someone will answer and listen. And if you need a reminder of God's promise, Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Remember, you are loved. You are seen. Keep going. Keep fighting. And know that I am here to help you. Stop. Hey world, it's your girl Kasira Elvie from the Truth Podcast Show. Make sure you tune in June 14th and share. Our girl, my sister Yolanda Carter, will be back on the Truth Podcast Show. Hear what we got to talk about. See you next week. All right, welcome back, you all. I'm your girl, Kasira Elvie, and this is the Truth Podcast Show. One of the things about being virtual, too, you can be in your own place of your own home, is sometimes people don't read notes. And so, you have kids. My kids are outside. This is the best time because I can have silence in the house. And so I have people knocking on the door. So I had to check on my kids. So thank you for your patience. But I really want to get back into this because we're talking about the silent struggles of being on the mantle, being a leader in any area of life. And let's talk about this. Even as being a parent, you're a leader. So we, as parents, we go through so many things. And so what I was talking about before we went on commercial break, I was about to talk about the key points that helped me bring out with the private pain and the public silence. And so one of the things I want to talk about is grieving silently because you're expected to hold it together. Now, I think anybody that is a leader, when something majorly happens in the family or in your group or congregation or something major, even when we're talking about Trump, when we're talking about it could be a war going on, people are looking for their leaders. People are looking for their pastors to tell them something, give them, encouraging words. Do y'all know how hard that can be sometimes? We got to always hold it together because we are the glue to it all. And one of the things that I think about, and oh hallelujah, y'all, me and Yolanda gonna talk about this, is even as being a parent, right? When you go, when your kids don't know that, hey, I don't even have no money to buy no groceries. Matter of fact, I don't even have no money to pay this electric bill. I'm trying to find resources, organizations, or, to help me. And these kids don't know because they're able to live freely because why? They look for us for responsibility to make sure that they eat, that they're clothed, that they can be able to be on now, they tablet, they phone, they laptop, they iPad, right? And they don't think about that. That's kind of how I can really put as being a leader, even with grown up sometimes. People don't know the back things that you have to go with, the bills that has to be paid, right? Or let's say taxes, or let's say fees that you have to keep an organization going. Let's talk about paying for grant writers to make sure that you get grants so you can take care of the community and help your organization thrive to help the community. There's a lot of things that we go through that people don't see, and we always have to hold it together. I'm telling you, I'm there with you. The one thing that I can say with holding it together, and I didn't even know what to do, how to say, is even when my oldest two dealt with death close to them, they dealt with it face to face, a murder, right, of their loved ones. So for me, who never been through that, I'm the parent, I'm the mom. Moms are the comforter. I didn't know. I felt so bad for my kids. I couldn't show the breakdown. I couldn't show. I don't even know what to do or what to say. That's an example of me saying, as being this leader, I gotta hold it together, because if I break down and everybody's dependent on me, there go that pressure again. I'm telling y'all, there go that pressure, and I have to be in my own corner, be in my own room, my own space, my own closet to break down. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted to let my audience, my lovely people I love, to let you know, or give you a little example to understand, if you are a parent, or give you a little understanding of what we go through being on any mantle. I think Oprah had to go through it, right? I mean, I'm just talking about people that are like these. Heck, we can say, heck, Diddy had a mantle too. Now, I ain't saying it was right or wrong. I ain't trying to get in a debate about that. I'm just giving an example. He has somebody. I'm just giving an example that I think you all can understand, right? And that's going on today, even with Trump. Just think about Trump being in office. He got people that like him, people that don't know if they like him or dislike him, and people that dislike him, and then also people that hate him. But he's in charge of the whole world. I mean, well, the whole United States. So we don't think about the pressure. We don't think about, is this a word? I know it's a word, but is this the right way to humanize a person in leadership? You put us on this mantle sometimes. Some people make you a god, so it's really hard about that. And I spoke about it, but here it go. When it says parenting through your child's mental health or behavioral struggles while showing up smiling in the community. Yeah, I'm keep hitting this, but I want to hit on it even more next week. For me, being a community activist, especially in Kankakee and in Kankakee, Illinois, um, there is a different type of community. I really don't want to say love hate, because hate is such a powerful word, because it's not really like I hate, but for me being a community activist, right? I'm that person that in my community, if something big, a big fight is about to happen, I'm there trying to say, hey, let's think about this. It's not that good. Let's not do that. Like, it's not worth it, right? And then you have your child or your kids get into an altercation, and it's like, yo, this is not what we do. Because your kids are supposed to be a representation of you. And let's be honest, you all, if you have children, especially grown kids. Hey, Panchella. I don't care how you raise them. You can raise them perfect. and you show them all the ways, the truth, and the light. And they'll still find a way to go to darkness sometimes. I know I did. I tried. I was a shelter preacher's kid. I want to see what was fun out there that I saw my sinful friends do. And I'm going to say sinful, but my partying friends, family, or my family party. I wanted to see what that life was about. So when we be on this mantle, people you like, and you have to you're on this platform where one, you have all these organizations that you connected with, you're finding all these resources for help and all of this, and then you have your own household that's kind of tug of war with you. That's hard. I'm telling y'all that now. And we don't gotta say that. I think that everybody, if you are a parent, you are on a mantle. That is not an easy thing. I feel for my sisters and my brothers who have children that they raise to do the right thing, and then all of a sudden in their kids' adult life, maybe somebody became a murderer. Maybe somebody came out of being I mean, even worse, to say rape somebody, right? Rape, killed. How do you think that parent may feel being on this mantle? Because sometimes your children can put you in an uncomfortable predicament or situation that's not even you. So the struggles of your own household, and I just want to give that with an example. And I mentioned about this too. The financial strain, the burnout, or imposter syndrome that nobody sees. Y'all, life, well, I don't want to say life, but things in life ain't free. And one of the things that I witnessed, um, even with some people, when you're in a community, or if you have a pantry, or if you are doing any type of giveaway, sometimes it's hard because you do get some people that are ungrateful and still be wanting. They will complain about what you giving them, and will still take it. That's a hard pill to swallow because you still gotta smile. And you still got to be nice and polite. And this person is saying, excuse me, but they didn't know about the things that you had to do. If you had to go ahead and go ahead to these stores and try to get donations, or get donations from people, or get grants, or get funding, government funding. There's a lot of things that are going through. I mean, buildings, if you go to a church or things like that, there are bills that need to be paid, and we understand that. And so that's a strain on a leader. That's another struggle we go through on a mantle. Remember, I told you when I was about to do, not finna, when I was about to do my organization, my community giveaway. Remember, I told you I started, like, it was an idea. God, I don't have no money. But let me remind my people that's on the mantle, my leaders, God always makes a way. And that's what He taught me. So sometimes the weight of what we carry is heavier than people realize. And because we serve, folks assume we're good. We all right. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Well, we should be good. But some of us are crying in private, struggling to get out of bed, or pouring from an empty cup. Y'all, it's been plenty of times where I didn't want to get out of the bed. Hey, sis, Yolanda. We'll talk a little bit what we're going to be talking about next week. But it was, it has been days. Within these 2 years, I've still been going through, I'm still going through a divorce. I was still going through a custody battle. I was still dealing with life of being unemployed, being employed, being unemployed. Find out, I don't look like what I'm going through. But those are things that I was privately going through, and still making sure Monday I was on here helping the next sister out. There go that pressure. There go that pressure right there. Next thing I want to talk about, we're going to talk about the cost of calling. Ooh, that's deep. And I'm gonna say this. First of all, the point that it came out, but what the statement that I've heard throughout the years, it's the feeling isolated or lonely in leadership. I know some of you have had to hear it's lonely upstairs. The higher you are, the lonelier it gets. Yeah, our traumas. Yeah, girl, no, me and you gonna talk about that next week. I have something for us to talk about next week because I am kind of putting a little spoilers out there. But I learned that being in leadership, you're lonely. Some of those things would be who can you trust, who's not trying to be an opportunist. It's a lot, you all. And when I thought about that, I do. And one of the conversations that we had with a couple of people I had is having this platform, having this positive platform that that will help another individual heal or get some needed resources that they needed to better their lives. And even your own family or close friends are not there. And God had to work on me because it's not their journey. So when we feel isolated, sometimes God does that to protect us. It ain't always easy, but it's life easy. And God has been working with me with that. And even me talking about I had a week with no kids and I had nothing to do. And that's not talking about going to party and just get wild drunk. No, I wanted to go out and have fun with my people. And everybody was like, you or I had some things that happened and I could go. But what I learned is God will still put people in your life to help you out with your mission. And it doesn't always be the person that was your A1, your day one. It won't be your family. It won't be your parents at times. And I was talking to today when I'm thinking about that because I dealt with that, you all. I dealt with my 40th birthday was a real hard. It hit me hard, y'all. I went through a depression. I didn't want to serve the community anymore. I was just so mad that all the hours that I poured in and helping others that no one showed up. Like it took a lot for me, y'all. That's another thing with being in a mantle. People don't want to talk about. When you do for others and you literally do it from the heart, you literally do it because you want to do it. And when it's your turn and some of the people don't show up and you be like, well, that's hard for a person that serves. Because even though we're not always looking for something back, still we want the love and appreciation. And God had to work on me with that. So when I was talking about that, and He broke it down in my outline, and when we were talking about feeling isolated or lonely in leadership, sometimes God does that to protect us, but also God brings people in our lives too that are sent to help us within that loneliness. And I'm learning that I think I found one person, but I mean I still. But if you're a leader, especially if you are a leader of a flock, you know what I'm talking about. Because there's so many people that want to be, once you get in a limelight, there are people that have been wanting to be in a limelight and couldn't. And once they see that you are there and they were already kind of your friends or they were already kind of in an in circle, they try to use that to get their gain. That's why I tell people when we talk about situations where people was like, well, this person stabbed me in the back, or they did this, and I told them my idea, they supposed to help me, and they ran off with it. I want to give you all a reminder. What God has for you, it is for you. They can't take what God has given you, just like you can't take what God has given the other person. And that's what helps me along the way. It does. Or I just had my first incident of chaos within the organization or somebody I trust, I looked up to. So I am just still, like I said, I'm still new to the mantle, but I am definitely warned in a loving way, giving words of wisdom, what to look for, how to be, and even showing examples of what not to be, right? And then another thing about it is the spiritual warfare or the emotional toll that comes with helping others heal. Baby, we sometimes hold y'all burdens, not complaining. Let me break it down to you all. I, as a leader, am learning how to balance, because when you care about people and you know their circumstances and you know they are coming to you for help, for guidance, for just something, that's a burden on us. And even when you go on war, even on a spiritual level, it's really the pressure. I love the word, because when they said it, it just kept, everything that I'm talking about is still talking about the pressure that we deal with. And so trying to find that balance between serving and being human, that is a challenge. You know how we always tell people, let go? Like, those are two words, simple, easy words, let go. But those are one of the hardest things that you can do, especially if you really wanted it or if you really loved it. It's hard. Or you used to it. Some people used to toxic this time. We've been being abusive marriages and relationships, It's about, it's hard to let go, because that's what I'm accustomed to now. That's what I'm used to. So when I say that, I realized that in trying to be strong for everyone else, I was slowly, like I said earlier, disappearing. And nobody noticed. Nobody really noticed, because I did, and I do make it look easy at times. Except for people that are really in my circle, and I break down anywhere. Period. I cry if I feel like crying. Somebody told me when you cry, it cleans your soul. So once I heard that, I cry. And I hate when people say, "Don't cry in front of your kids," or "Don't cry, you show your weak." No, I don't listen to that no more. If I'm crying, because sometimes I could be crying tears of happiness, tears of joy, but that was one of the things that I learned, because we always say, I don't look like what I'm going through. And when you are that person that always has to be on, or if you're that person that holds it together, we kind of get used to winning that Oscar award, because you have to remember that, again, and on the mantle, we are responsible for other individuals. I'm telling you all. So I like the part where I'm getting to. Ooh, so good, because I have some prayers that I found, and also some affirmations that I want to leave you all with. And I hope me just giving my examples, I hope this helps someone that is in leadership too, and beating yourself up, because that's what we do at times. We beat ourselves up because we think that we're not supposed to go through what we're going through, that we're supposed to be stronger. This is what people see. This is what I've shown. It's not fakeness, but you're always on. You don't know how to cut it off. And if you cut it off, then you may feel a little guilty. And we all know, and I know with me, I do feel guilty at times when people say, "Oh, I called you." I said, "Hey, let me call you right back. You know what? I'm going to call you." And then you forget, it get late, you have something else that pops up, and then it'll be a whole week later and say, "Oh my God, I forgot to call such and such, such and such." Oh God, that is a lot, you all. I'm telling you. Sometimes I love the saying too. Don't blame my heart, blame my head. Because when we be busy, I be busy, and then when I sit down, I feel guilty, because I could be doing something, or I could be calling somebody, or I could be doing a commercial, or I could be. You're always thinking, analytical thinkers. You're always thinking, right? So when it's just it's so crazy, y'all. But the next thing that we want to talk about in my key points, my outline. Shout out to Chat GPT. But no, it's what can we do? Solutions and encouragements. What can we do? Ideas that you could try to explore is safe spaces for leaders to decompress and get real. Now, once I learned that I'm not alone, I have not researched, but I bet if I did, I probably could find it. There has to be tons. And if you hear me now and you have the resource, there has to be support groups that are safe spaces, excuse me for the hiccups. There are safe spaces for us leaders to be transparent, to be open. And somebody may be mad at me, but sometimes I complain about y'all. Cause sometimes y'all be mean to us. Sometimes y'all get on our nerves. We have to be real about things, and that's not to hurt nobody's feelings. That's not to belittle anybody or say we tired of doing what we doing. No, but if we gonna all be honest, because your kids, I love putting my parents on the mantle. Cause I'm telling you, everybody got a mantle. If you're a leader, y'all kids get on y'all nerves, or sometimes y'all don't want to show it, or sometimes your kids want to show you something that a craft that they made or a picture they drew, and you know they ain't no artist, and you got to still act like, oh, baby, that is beautiful. You know what I'm talking about. I just have to give that example to explain what I mean. So, another thing. So, if you have those resources, please let me know, because I would love to share that for my leaders that need that. Because once again, I didn't even mention that, but we have to be cautious who we trust, because there'd be a lot of snakes in the grass, y'all. Everybody not happy that you got a mantle. Some want your mantle, but they can't have it. God gave them one. They just gotta accept it or search for it. Get your relationship with God. But another thing is, and I learned this, I love this too, is the importance of therapy, prayer, sabbatical, and boundaries. Y'all, I'm learning all of that. I'm back into therapy again. There are still things that I have to heal, even though I'm on this platform. And I remember when I stopped and God told me, I gave you this platform also to heal and help heal. Y'all, life be lifing. So we're always going to be in a process of healing from something, overcoming something. That is truth. So what you go through, trust and believe. Your pastor, your boss, your leader, or your community ship leader, your presidents, heck, your mayor, even though some politicians are not right at times. But everybody got something going on in their life. Life be lifing. So it's good for us, and I learned that this year, you all. I did it. I took a sabbatical, and I think every January at the beginning of the year, I have to take a sabbatical, because you do get burnt out. You have to learn boundaries. You have to learn how to balance so we don't get burnt out. We have a lot to accomplish, you all, that have these mantles. And it's okay. It is okay. Let somebody know, baby. You ain't by yourself. I learned that through this through my process period. But more so the last 2 weeks when I was going through some real crazy things. And so finding a tribe, I got one. I ain't gonna lie. I love y'all too. It's finding a tribe or a leader's leader, someone you can go to. Now, if you've been watching the show, you have heard some traumatic stories, a lot of trauma from people. And one of the things that they do always still mention, somebody helped save them, or somebody was there. So God will send you that person. God will definitely send you that person. So I want to say this before I go into the prayers that I found, a couple of prayers and some affirmations. I think I'm going to start with the affirmations. I'm going to end it with prayers. If you are a leader listening today, even if you heard me all read these big titles, if you are a parent, if you are a guardian, if you are in charge of somebody and you're tired, I see you. You're not weak for needing rest. You're not failing for needing healing. Take the mask off, girl. Take the mask off, my brother. Your humanity doesn't disqualify your calling. I'm going to say that again. Your humanity doesn't disqualify your calling. It deepens it. It deepens it. Let's normalize all of that, the pressure, the always got to stay on, the learning boundaries. We are in a season, I feel, my opinion, we are in a season where transparency is the popular thing. Hiding stuff, pushing in the closet, sweeping it under the rug, that's lame. Clock that. As my youngsters say, I like that doing that. Clock that. Being real is better than being fake. And suffering in silence, we no longer have to do that. Now, some affirmations for my peoples. There's 8 on here that they gave me that I like, and I'm going to say it. I am allowed to rest. My value is not tied to my output. Number 1. Number 2, I can be called and still need healing. 3, it is not weakness to acknowledge my pain. It is wisdom. 4, God sees me even when no one else does. Remember that. Because sometimes we think people don't see, but it doesn't matter. Your purpose was still met. 5, I am more than what I do. I am worthy, whole, and human. 6, I give myself permission to heal at my own pace. I like that one. I give myself permission to heal at my own pace. Sometimes we are our own worst critics. And, And number 7, my honesty makes me stronger, not broken. Didn't I just say that? Message. If y'all know the movie, y'all know what I'm talking about. But another thing, the last one I like, I can lead with love without losing myself in the process. I'm going to be saying these things, these 8 affirmations for the next month. Daily. Now I got 4 prayers, and this will be able to go straight into our transition of saying goodbye. And I'll see you next week with my girl, Yolanda Carter. And we're going to talk more about being on mantles, what we go through. Okay? So the first prayer is titled Prayer for Strength in Silence. Lord, strengthen me when I feel unseen. Remind me that even when no one else knows what I carry, you do. Fill the spaces in me that feels empty and give me the courage to keep showing up for myself. Another prayer for rest and renewal. God, grant me the peace to rest without guilt. Help me lay down what is not mine to carry and renew my spirit where I am worn. Refresh my heart, restore my joy. Prayer for boundaries and balance. Father, teach me to serve without losing myself. Help me set healthy boundaries and embrace balance, knowing that my healing matters too. The last prayer that they gave me that I like, prayer for hidden grief. Lord, you see the tears I cry behind closed doors. Comfort me in my grief. Give me grace to lead even when my heart is breaking, and people to walk with me through the pain. I hope my transparency and ChatGPT helped you. For my leaders, I love you. I pray that God continuously strengthen us to carry the mantle that God has given us and continues to push us when we feel weak, when we feel no one is listening, when we feel it's not working. Know that it is, and know that you are being seen. You do matter, just like the ones that we help as well. I'm your girl, Kasira Elvie. This is The Truth Podcast. I will see you next Monday. Make sure you share with my girl, my inspirational woman of the evening, Yolanda Carter. And we'll be back talking about things that we go through with the mantle, especially our kids. Peace out.
Hey family, it's your girl Kasira Elvie from the Truth Podcast Show. If life feels too heavy right now, please hear me. You are not alone and God has not forgotten you. For mental health support, here's a number that you can reach out to 24/7 anytime. If you're facing abuse, reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. You don't have to suffer in silence. If you're struggling with self-harm or dark thoughts, you can text HOME to 741-741. Someone will answer and listen. And if you need a reminder of God's promise, Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Remember, you are loved. You are seen. Keep going. Keep fighting. And know that I am here to help you.